Hey there folks, and welcome back to Airgun Reporter. My name is Paul Capello. I'm here today to discuss one of the most overlooked parts of your airgun setup. I'm talking about scope rings and mounts. You know, having a precision-made set of rings or a mount on your precision-engineered airgun like this Air Force Talon SS can make all the difference in being on target or on hold with your favorite retailer, asking them why your airgun isn't shooting straight. But before we talk about BKL mounts, which is the subject of today's episode, first I'm going to show you one of the more common designs in scope rings and mounts. Let's bring that camera a little bit closer. Okay, here we have one of the more common designs in scope rings. And this pair must have cost me about $10 or $12, really inexpensive. As you can see, one of the dovetails is actually milled into the aluminum, and the other one is a separate part. The thinking behind this is that you can flip this part around to either accommodate a 3/8 inch scope rail or an 11mm scope rail. The same holds true for this one-piece mount here. Now, there are inherent problems with this design, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you by mounting this on a scope rail. Let's go ahead and do that. The frame of this Air Force Talon SS is milled from a single piece of aluminum, and that guarantees that the scope rail is always in perfect alignment with the barrel inside the shroud. But once you put a scope on here, especially with inexpensive rings, that might not be the case. It might not be aligned perfectly anymore, and I'm going to demonstrate that by putting these rings on the scope rail. When using a pair of rings like these here, you have to make sure that the screws are on the same side. Putting them together, they sure look like they're aligned, but in fact, with your screws on this side of the rail, your scope is going to be about a 32nd of an inch to the right. I'll go ahead and demonstrate how that works. Flip this around, put it back on the rail, tighten it down. And I'll flip it over this way for the camera, and you can see that this ring is about 3/32 of an inch to the right. That's going to push your scope to the right. See that right there. However, with the fabulous design of the BKL mounts and rings, you're not going to have that problem. So, let me get a pair of BKL rings on here and I'll show you what I mean. BKL mounts have what they call a unitized design, and that means the dovetail is milled into a single piece of aluminum. And that guarantees that when it's mounted on your scope rail, your scope is going to be in perfect alignment with the bore. These mounts can also accommodate either 3/8 of an inch rails or 11mm rails. All you do is simply take out the screw and put it inside this spreader hole here. It's threaded. You tighten it until you start to get some resistance, and then keep tightening it. And what that's doing is spreading that dovetail wider, thanks to these relief slots that they've milled into the aluminum here. I'll go ahead and put this on. With these BKL mounts, it doesn't matter if the mounting screws are on the same side of the rail. They're always going to be in perfect alignment. Put that on there. Take this off so I can show you how perfectly aligned they are. Now you're squeezing the metal basically, so it does take a little bit of effort to tighten these down. Go ahead and do this one. Slide it right up against there. Look at that, perfect alignment. Doesn't matter which side the screws are on. The great thing about BKL is they have mounts for just about every situation you might encounter when putting a scope on your airgun. As a matter of fact, I have the Pyramid Air website on our monitor here. I'll pull that up, and you can see just the enormous amount of selection available. They manufacture double strap rings, high mounts, low mounts, and I have to say the quality of these rings is extraordinary. Look at this. They even make silver rings if you want to add some pizzazz to your air rifle. I actually visited the factory where they make these, and I have to say I've never seen such dedication to scope rings before in my life. Look at this, we have offset black ones, offset silver ones. They even have, scroll down here, adapters. Look at this. This is a dovetail to weaver adapter, a 2-piece. They also make a single piece. They have silver risers, black risers. This is fantastic stuff. Everything for just about any shooting situation. They even have a design for bolt-action guns like this one right here. Cantilevered adapters, that's fantastic. Matter of fact, we've had a mount from BKL on this RWS 350 Magnum for months. We've shot thousands of rounds with this, and with 6 mounting screws, you're guaranteed a wide clamping area. This has not budged ever, even though it doesn't have a stop pin. Very good stuff. Well, that's the scoop on BKL mounts and rings. For Airgun Reporter, my name is Paul Capello. Until next time, shoot safe and have fun. Please remember, folks, air guns are not toys. Even the smallest calibers can cause serious injury if not used properly. And you should never, under any circumstance, point an air gun at a person. Parents, if you teach your children to shoot responsibly, they will have a lifetime of air gun enjoyment.